in the first time, the Great Hyperspace Core was found. With it came the gift of interstellar travel, and the Outer Rim trade routes were established, uniting the galaxy in peace. "4,000 years passed before the second core was discovered on a desert planet. Pain and bloodshed flowed in its wake. But the exiles returned to their homeworld, Hiigaran. A young woman led them across the galaxy, and it is she who will lead them again. Her name is Karen Sajet. This is the story of the end time. We know this because the third core has been found. Under the dark influence of this core, the Taidan have risen under a new leader, a Vagar warrior lord named Makan. He calls himself the Sajukar, the Chosen One. Many systems have already fallen under his shadow, and his eyes are set upon Hiigaran. Deep inside the great derelict at Tanis, construction of a new mothership is underway. The pride of Hiigaran. Once more, the exiles will face the coming darkness.
This is Fleet Command. Stand by for hyperspace core transfer.
Containment unit online. All power signatures in the green. Primary couplings released.
Trajectory is good. The hyperspace core is away. This is Tanis Control. We have visual contact with the core. Proceed with transfer.
Trajectory and alignment confirmed. Take it to 115 and initiate capture procedures. The mothership recognizes the core and confirms signal lock.
Fleet Command online. Mothership status report. Engineering online. Stand by to initiate engine sequence. Main engines online. Engine test complete. All standard drives are operational. Navigation online. The mothership is standing by.
Course deleted.
This is Fleet Intelligence. Our task is to analyze sensor data and generate mission objectives. Before launching the mothership, we must conduct a series of trials to ensure all critical systems are operational. Throughout these trials, the mothership will be running with a minimal crew and will remain docked with Tanis. Once these trials are complete, we will launch the mothership and test the hyperspace core. The first trial will test the resourcing system. A resource collector is standing by. Begin retrieval of resource containers at this location.
All right, everyone. So, here we are at Tanis Base. The mothership has
Ready.
been constructed
Resources
in
locked
secret. So we need to collect these containers. And each one carries like several hundred resources. So notice they say Kunde on it, or Kund or whatever on it. One of the original ideas for Homeworld 2 was to have a lot of civilian traffic, just like ambient civilian traffic. Now that never really panned out in the game, but one of the surviving things was the Kunde company, if you will, cargo containers or cargo shipping company or something. So yeah, there were meant to be a lot of lots of civilian traffic, merchant vessels, things like that in the game. They had a lot of very grand and epic ideas for Homeworld 2 when they were developing it, and I'll describe more of that, throughout the LP. Yeah, that's one of the surviving things, is the Kunde company.
Mothership. Resourcing systems fully operational. Trial successful.
We will now test the mothership's production capabilities. Begin construction of a fighter facility subsystem.
Another big change to the game was the ability to produce or construct subsystems, which can also be targeted and destroyed. These give certain build or construction perks to your vessels. Not all vessels have them, of course, but obviously, in order to construct fighters, we need to build a fighter facility. There's like corvettes, there's frigate facilities, capital ship class facilities and stuff that you need to construct in order to open up those build trees. Homeworld 2 Classic actually changed several of the voice actors. The voice of Fleet Command was originally Heidi Ernest, but she was replaced by Jennifer Dawn Graveness due to Ernest being pregnant at the time. This is back in the early 2000s. Similarly, Fleet Intelligence was originally voiced by Michael Sunchik at the time, but however, he was replaced by Eli Gabe.
Mothership fighter facility complete. Fighter facility subsystem complete. Engineering is online and ready for fighter production.
To test basic combat capabilities, construct an interceptor squadron.
So that said, for the remastered version, they were able to get the original voice actors from Homeworld 1 back for these versions, and they were able to re-record their lines. The only missing actor is Campbell Wayne, who voices the narrator and the Bentusi because he died. That said, they had the original files that he recorded, so they were able to remaster those sound files and insert them into the game. So if you were to play the classic version, you'll notice the voices of Fleet Intel and Fleet Command sound a little bit different. But in the remastered version, they're the original voice actors. Although they do sound a little bit older. They've aged a little bit, right? So we're just looking at Tanis Base, and here's Chimera Station.
Complete.
Stand by to begin combat trials. Perimeter Station Chimera will assist by providing target drones. The drones are located here. Use the interceptors to destroy the target drones.
So as usual, we need to do some target practice, of course.
Interceptor squadron complete.
One of the changes of the game engine for Homeworld 2 is that you no longer build individual strike craft. Instead, you build quote-unquote squadrons of strike craft. So when you build here a squadron of interceptors, it's not just one, strike craft, it's 5 of them. That said, they operate as a group, as we're about to see. Hiigaran Navy fighters and bombers come in squadrons of 5, and corvettes come in squadrons of 3. In reality, the designation of squadron for these strike craft is a bit of a misnomer, at least as far as American military parlance goes. Squadrons are the basic organizational units for Air Force or naval aviation. In the Air Force, I think a squadron is composed of like 18 to 24 fighters and fewer if they're bombers. In the Navy, it's around like 12 aircraft, I believe. But each squadron is composed of several flights or sections, and those flights or sections are also composed of individual elements, that is, single aircraft. So in reality, a more appropriate term for a squadron, at least as far as Homeworld 2 goes, would actually be a flight or a section. But I guess, you know, that doesn't sound as sexy in a sci-fi setting.
Group 1 reports victory.
Attention Tanis Control. This is Perimeter Station Chimera. We have multiple unidentified units detected. Signal indicates Vager bomber strike force. This is a scramble alert. All pilots to their stations.
Chimera Base. This is Blue Leader. Enemy units locked in. Awaiting orders.
Tanis is under attack. All forces to combat alert. This is not a test. Interceptors have been launched from Chimera. The enemy must be eliminated. Order all interceptors to destroy the Vager bombers.
Alright, will do. Air raid Pearl Harbor, this is no drill! This is why I built a couple of quote-unquote squadrons of interceptors. You get one for free from Chimera Station. The Vager squadrons are actually larger by 1 or 2 strike craft. In fact, the Vager forces themselves are technically more powerful than the Hiigarans. The difference, though, is that the Vager units are far more specialized, often having a very specific type of unit that they are designed to counter, and thus they have a far more complicated tech tree and build tree. In contrast, the Hiigaran Navy is more multifunctional and multi-mission capable.
Defeated the enemy.
Chimera Station is offline. The Vager have breached the Tanis perimeter.
The mothership is under attack. We cannot stay here any longer. Emergency launch underway.
These crews, stand by for emergency launch.
Roger that, Tanis. Primary couplings released.
This is looking good. Green line confirmed.
The mothership has cleared Tanis. We are away.
Multiple enemy reinforcements detected. Estimated time before contact, 2 minutes. Begin construction of attack bombers immediately. Bombers will be required to defend the mothership.
Yes, yes. So we got a Vager attack frigate or assault frigate coming in here.
Production.
We need to get some bombers moving.
Group 1.
As you can see, the mothership, while of a slightly, upgraded design from the one in Homeworld 1, is still the good old banana ship, as many of us call it. Tanis is, of course, a reference to the city on the Nile River in it's like in northwestern Egypt, or northeastern Egypt, I should say, kind of at the on the tributaries of the Nile River. According to Raiders of the Lost Ark and Indiana Jones, it's where the Hebrews buried the Ark of the Covenant, right? Where the Well of Souls, in the Well of Souls.
Bomber squadron complete.
More biblical and mythological references.
Strike group coordinates locked in. Strike group,
Now a lot of people, I've seen some people wonder like, gosh, they don't have very good defenses for this base if all these Vaegars show up. And that's kind of the point. It's meant to be built in secret, and you don't want to put a lot of naval assets in a place that you're trying to keep hidden. You know what I mean? I guess what's more weird is that the Vaegars somehow found out about it. That being said, if you look at the construction of various ships and navies that have tried to keep their forces, you know, secret, like the construction of the Yamato-class battleships, at some point, naval intelligence is probably going to find out. The question is, how much will they find out? So it's not completely beyond the realm of possibility.
The Vaegar are using hyperspace gates. If they are not destroyed, the enemy will deploy reinforcements through them. These gates must be destroyed.
Group 2 reporting. Docking signal green. Group 1 reporting.
Get rid of these hyperspace gates. Of course, we are docking our units. You want to dock your strike craft every so often in this game to replenish them.
Strike group prepare for assault.
As you lose individual strike craft within the squadrons, their combat power rapidly diminishes. But that said, if you dock them, then it automatically replenishes the squadron to full strength for free. Thank God. So if you're down to like 1 or 2 interceptors in a squadron, then you better dock it so you can replenish it back to full strength.
Destroy all the remaining hyperspace gates.
There's a Vaegar assault craft.
Group 1 reporting. Strike group attack order confirmed.
As usual, this is just an introductory mission. It's pretty short, so I'll talk more about the lore of the game as we continue our playthrough.
Strike group prepare for assault.
Alright, come on, let's just mop them up. Once they have whittled down a lot of these squadrons to like 1 or 2 strike craft, then the danger that they pose becomes significantly less, and you're pretty much guaranteed to defeat them. But you really need to get those first shots in.
Long-range sensors have detected multiple enemy signals converging on Tanis. All ships initiate docking procedures and stand by for hyperspace.
Alright, well, we're getting out of here.
The Vaegar have arrived.
Got some missile destroyers, a couple of battle cruisers there. Yeah, we have no hope of defeating them.
Emergency hyperspace procedures initiated. The mothership must survive.